chapter 10 is specifically about how do you work with, how do you communicate with your customer, and
what other protection terms
the customer communication. So the first one is if you, it's about consultation guidelines, and this is non-mandatory, and it's specifically that that if you have a guideline for personal travel advice, to ensure the professional quality and consistency, which means that you have a guidelines for your sales, for example, when they approach, when they're on the phone, when they on online communication with your client, what other steps that they need to follow. What are, so for example, when it comes to recommending a certain services, how should they recommend it? Should they recommend the most sustainable option first before they go for the other options? And when they recommend options, what should be the information included in those options? So if you have the guidelines written for your sales, then you can upload the guidelines here. However, if you don't have it, then again, this is non-mandatory criteria, so you can answer no. And move to the next one. So customer privacy. Do you have a privacy policy for your customer to ensure that the data is not compromised and is not sold to the third party? This is mandatory, so you do need to have this privacy written and uploaded here to us. The best is to have it also uploaded on your website as well. But I do understand that with a certain type of business, especially when you work B2B, you work mostly on a personal basis, not really through website. So in that case, you don't really have it on your website. And that's customer privacy. For promotion and communication, this is also act as a policy. So as long as you have this as a policy in your system, that you declare that your promotion materials and marketing communication comply with relevant standards, and it's transparent and accurate, and you do not promise more than what you can deliver. So as long as you add this in your policy, then it is in compliance. Same thing with product information, that that all of the product information and price need to be clear, complete, and accurate. We would ask you to add to attach some of the product information that you send to your clients to be attached here, so we can check the consistency of the way you communicate on the product information. Same thing with destination information quality, that when you brief your customers on the destination information, it also includes sustainability aspect in it, and it should be factually correct. Those documents where you use towards your client should also be attached here for us to check. 10.6 is about sustainable transport, is a non-mandatory criterion, and it asks if you inform about the environmental impact of different transport options. That means when you offer to your clients that, you know, we for this route, for the city trip, it's going to be on bicycle, not because that you're using the adjective words that it's going to be an adventure, journey, this and that. You need to specify the environmental impact of cycling over 4 wheels, so you can tell them that, you know, by using bicycle, we minimize or we reduce 5 times with the total carbon emissions instead of using a 4-wheel drive. So the sustainability credential of any transport option needs to be communicated to your clients. But if you haven't done so, if you just say, oh, with this tour, we're going to take a bicycle on the tour without saying anything, then still it's not accepted for this criterion, because it's not what we asked for. In that case, you still have to tick on no. But if you do communicate it, or if you do plan to communicate it in the future, and you do plan to add the sustainability credentials in those itinerary, then you can click yes and add in the action plan on how precisely you're going to do it. 10.7 is about the indication of sustainable accommodation and excursion. Also, this is about when you consult with your clients, do you openly communicate the more sustainable options? So if you when you show your clients a certain options on accommodation, do you specify their ranking by sustainability aspect? And if you do actually communicate those aspects to your clients, same thing with excursion. So if the communication is actively if the communication actively mentions sustainability aspects of the product as the better option, of course it acts as option, not yet, this is something that we're going to book for you because it's sustainable, then you can communicate it here. Travel advice sustainable offers is on is basically the summary of 10.6 and 10.7 is that if you offer more sustainable products to your client, in this case, can act as a more sustainable tour to your clients, then you can also report it here. Sustainability commitment is only relevant for companies that already get Travel Life Partner or Travel Life Certified. But if you none of these, then you can indicate NA. But if you already have Travel Life Partner, then you need to tell us how do you inform your clients on your website about your sustainability commitment and your Travel Life Partner word. So we do have a template on how do you communicate online at a certain level of Travel Life. So after you've got Travel Life Partner, what kind of logo you need to use, what kind of communication that you need to make it transparent for your clients to understand what Travel Life Award is all about. So you can always contact me for information on how you should communicate it on your website, and you can always go through me for approval before you actually have it published. So 10.10 is also, so as you can see, the whole subchapter under after holidays and during holidays is mandatory under for Indonesia, except for the last one. So with destination information and interpretation, we need to ask you to attach the information that you send to your clients on destination information to see if you do provide fully information on the destination to your clients. Destination do and don't. You also need to show us the list of destination do and don'ts that you communicate to your clients, and please be very clear on the specific destination do and don't, because this is destination, so it's a general do and don't for the whole country. Yeah, we have another criterion on activities do and don't, which very specific to activity. So again, it comes down to the sensitive activity. So please don't be mistaken between these two. So if you have yes destination do and don't, please add it here. If not, there's each country always have their own destination do and don't, even coming from the Ministry of Tourism. So you can use that as well to your clients, or if you have your own list, feel free to add it here. Health and safety is that you need to inform your clients of any potential risk, and you need to give them precautions related to health and safety matters in the destination. So, for example, within in a certain city, pocketing is a big problem. So this is how you can do to avoid being in those cases. So those, for example, are regarding to safety or sanitation of the food and or the hygiene of a certain place that you need to brief your clients about, especially when they come to a rural undeveloped area. So this also asks that you have a documented version of the health and safety precautions to your clients and need to be uploaded here. Destination contact person. If you do have a a contact a contact that your clients can reach all the time, then please also mention it here, on which document you have included this information. Emergency situation. So this applies for companies that have more than 25 employees. You need to have a documented emergency guideline for your staff. For companies that under 25, I can understand this work on case by case. So you normally, the company which is verbally talk with the staff on how to handle emergency situation. Then you need to explain to us what are some emergency situation in the past and how did you handle it. You can, okay, we do not have guidance or best practices in this case, but this is very specific to how it happened in the past. So if you haven't had a documented version of the emergency situation yet, I would really advise you to sit down with the team and look back at the history from when the company has started until today. What were those situations that already happened in the past and how did you handle those situations? And based on those situations, then you can start create a general guidelines on what other steps need to be taken when an emergency situation happens. Activities and don't, activities do's and don'ts. So again, this do and don'ts are not about destination as a country, but destination as in the types of activities where it takes place. So if it's community-based tourism, then what are the do and don'ts for those activities? If it has interaction with wildlife, then what are the do's and don'ts for those activities? So be very specific, and whatever activities do and don't that you have, please upload them all here. Sexual exploitation. So this doesn't ask that you need to educate your clients on sexual exploitation. This means that your team has been trained on sexual exploitation of children, again by taking the online course from Travel Life. That they have come with a certain understanding. They come with the contact in the country where they can contact regarding regarding the situations where this case happened. Then you can briefly describe and inform your clients about what are the numbers for them to describe, and what is the situation, what is the status of this issue in your country. Illegal souvenirs. So in chapter 8, we asked you in chapter 7, we asked you to have a list of illegal souvenirs. So that list needs to be published to your clients as well. So you need to show that you have communicated to your clients about that illegal souvenir list in your country. Local service and goods asks if you motivate the clients to use as much local products and purchase as many local restaurants and shops as possible. So by doing this, you can inform us that you have a policy towards your tour guide, that tour guides need to recommend clients with local addresses on restaurants or shops. Or if you do have, sometimes companies have a list of recommended restaurants, for example, because if lunch or dinner is not included in the tour, then we need to see in that list that, you know, those recommendations are based on the locality of the product providers. Then you can upload the information here. Sustainable transport option. So this is about you providing sustainable transport options to your clients. So you need to show us your activeness in promoting sustainable transportations to your clients through the consultation process, through through giving more options in the destination information, or just giving the list or the website on public transportation where they can go to if they want to take. When you give them the information on the destination, for example. So there's different ways of proving to us that you are communicating sustainable transport options to your clients. Donations. If you do work with an established projects or initiatives that your clients can donate to, then you need to tell us what are those projects, how many projects and initiatives that you are actively promoting at the moment towards your clients if they want to donate. So if they ask about donation, you can give them those recommendations, and also give us any evidence on the fact that you are supporting those initiatives, or on the fact that you are encourage your clients to donate to those initiatives via communication to the clients, for example. And the first requirement is if you investigate your customer satisfaction systematically, which means that in this case, customer feedback form. So if you get your customer feedback via a form towards the end of the tours, please attach the form here. Many say that, oh, we take our feedback from TripAdvisor, for example. So you can't just say that we get our feedback of our clients from TripAdvisor. Then you need to explain to us how do you take those feedback from Advisor to analyze the result towards the end. And you need to tell us then some of the summary from last year evaluation of customer satisfaction, and what were the results that you have found. 10.22 is about sustainability and customer satisfaction. So if you do have, this is non-mandatory criteria, but it is asked if in your feedback form or whatever form that you use to get your clients' feedback, if you include any questions regarding sustainability, especially regarding the practice that you have put in on your tours, to see if the clients actually appreciate or satisfied with the quality of those options that you have, of those sustainable options that you have chose and your client had selected. Then you need to also report here. If you do not have it yet in your feedback form, you can either click yes to create an action plan, or if you do not feel like you want to implement this in the next year, then you can easily click on no, because again, it's non-mandatory. Complaints, easy. If you have a clear complaints procedure for your clients, so when they have complaints, they know what to do, who to go to, and how long to expect your to receive reply from you. So again, for a company that's bigger than 25 employees, we do need to see a documented procedure of those complaints. However, with the smaller companies, if you can't provide to us a documented version of the complaint procedure, you need to give us an example of how you handle complaints in the past, with some basic guidelines of how one complaint would be handled and how long would it take to get back to the clients with response. So this is the end of chapter 10, and if you've done everything, then you can email to us and let us know that you've done the reporting, and we can start proceeding with the desk audit, the first desk audit. And just to brief again on the Travel Life Partner certification process, after you complete 100% of the report, so it means that if you see all the greens in those bars, which means that you have completed 100%, please email to us that you have done, that you have completed the report, and you request for a desk audit. Because if you do not tell us, we would not know that you have done with the reporting, and it would be left unaudited forever. So please always make sure to email to us, notify us that you have done it. The desk audit is It's not a one-time audit, so don't worry. We can do as many desk audits as possible until you qualify for Travel Life Certified. So after one desk audit, I would always get back to you with my remarks on how else can you improve your practice within your operation until it's in line with our standards for Travel Life Partner stage. So don't worry about it. It's going to be a lot of personal consultations. If you have any question, you can always ask us. Specifically, we are, again, under remarks, questions to coach. I'm going to wait for the system to. So reporting, remarks, questions to from coach. Ask any question here as possible. Again, email us to tell us that you have asked some questions in the system, because we do not have an automatic notification for all of our coaches to check whether a company have asked any question at all.